Who is Songwriter? Songwriter is the artist side of who Cherie is. I love singing, I love writing music, and sometimes as an artist, that is the best way for me to express myself and how I'm feeling and having different emotions is by singing and writing. So that's who Songwriter is. I named myself Songwriter because I'm more of an introvert in the sense that I'm really shy and real standoffish, and I really just wanted to write songs for other artists. I did not want to be necessarily an artist in the sense. I wanted to just sit back and work with other people. But with God, we can make a plan, and He has a plan. So at the end of the day, whatever it is God's calling you to do, that's what you're going to do. So that's why I named myself Songwriter, because I just wanted to write for other people, not necessarily be an artist. I am from Norfolk, Virginia, born and raised. Norview area, that's where I'm from, that's where my roots. That's kind of where it all got started, in Norview and in Norfolk, Virginia. When did I know when to sing? I was in church one Sunday with my grandmother, and there was this lady up front, and she was blowing, and I was like so amazed by her voice, and just the way she sounded, and I just loved it, and I was like, man. And I silently said a prayer to God. I was like, man, I would love to be able to sing like that one day, not knowing that that was a prophetic word that I said to God, and it came forth because now I love music and I love to sing. So that's where it all started. Virgin Bride is because I waited for marriage to have sex, and so I kind of wanted to, I guess, explain a little bit more in details as to why I did that. So a lot of the songs on the EP is going to explain that and talk about the decisions and the reasons why I decided to wait until marriage to have sex. So that's why I named it The Virgin Bride, to give people a chance to understand why I waited. I don't have a favorite song on the album. I will say whatever song I'm working on at the moment, typically that's my favorite song. So, and I'll go back and forth, and sometimes I'll have a song and I'll say, well, let me change something about that, so I'll do that. So I wouldn't say it's any song in particular, just whatever I'm working on at the moment, that is my favorite song. What inspires me to write? I would say it is life. Any situation or circumstances that I'm personally dealing with. It doesn't necessarily gotta be personal. It could be something that someone else has experienced and they've told me about it, or I've seen it firsthand, and then the creative juices will get flowing, and I'll put it into song, and I just go from there. And it's really just life itself and situations that inspires me to write whatever I write. And not get me wrong, I like to have fun with some songs. Some songs that they don't have a direction. It's just I'm just creating. But for the most part, most of it is it's a life situation. Sometimes it's exaggerations that I just kind of let my creative energy just take me where it's gonna go. Yeah. I've been doing music for a long time. I think in the reason I haven't really got the exposure, because I worked with the group Mankind Music, and they were dope. They allowed me to be me, and I thought that we were gonna go far, but unfortunately it didn't happen for us. But they were always just real chill, always real cool people. If I was to sign, do anything with a label, it would have to be with Mankind Music, because they were just those type of people. They were just that awesome. But in meeting other people as time went on, and even before, it was because it's certain things that they expected me to do, which was, if you want to sell records, you need to take your clothes off. You need to do this. And I was like, I don't want to take my clothes off. I'm doing music. I'm not trying to sell sex. No disrespect to anyone that does do that. That just wasn't for me. That just wasn't where I felt like that wasn't my direction. And I didn't want to do something that didn't feel good to me just because someone else said I should do it. So I think that's a lot as to why I never really got on, because there were certain sacrifices I just was not willing to make. in order to get there. Free my bro. My younger brother is incarcerated. He has been for a long time now, and he has a lot of years over his head. And I had to write that song because it was a long time coming. It was really difficult when my brother got locked up for all of us, and I wanted to figure out a way to express my emotions and how I was feeling about it. So I was like, this would be a good idea to write a song. So I did, and the song kind of came out the way it was supposed to. It came out the way I thought it should, and so it felt good to do that song. And then I played it for him over the phone, and he cried and I cried, and I was like, okay, so I must have did something right. So it was just me trying to show I love you, bro, and we miss you and we care about you, and I know it's rough being in there, but we haven't forgot about you. So that's why I wrote that song. Sins was me talking to God on everything. Like, I'm a sinner, so I try my hardest I have to acknowledge it. You can try to run away from the idea of being something that you're not, but at the end of the day, I ain't perfect. I make mistakes. And so that song was just me like, here they are, God. I want to lay it all out. I can't, God knows what I do before I do it anyway, but it kind of was like, here is what I'm trying not to do, but I'm gonna need your help. And God is always there. He's always being helpful. So I try my best now to read the word more, and that really helps a lot, getting into the Bible, getting the perspective of who God is and what he represents, and not just getting it from someone else's mouth, but reading it and learning God for myself. So Sins was written because I wanted to just, here it is, God, just lay it all out for him, and just let him know, I love you and I thank you. And I put Big Wizop on it. Yeah, Big Wizop, that's my nephew. I kind of wanted to see where he would go with this type of song, and he blessed the track. He had no idea how much it meant to me to have him on the track. He really did an amazing job, and I just poured out on the track, and he did. He gave it his all, and thank you, Big Wizop. You did excellent, bro. I do love you. Committed Vow. That was a song that was inspired from my past that I just, it's time to write about it, so I did. It was a commitment that I made to God to wait until marriage to have sex. And it was easy at the time when I made the commitment. I think I was like 18 when I said it, and I gave it, and that was what I was going to do. And then I met my husband, and it was really difficult. But God is good, because the man he blessed me with had a lot of patience and waiting, and the fact that he was celibate before he and I got together kind of helped me stay on that path, because had he not been who he was, who God had for me, it would have been different. But I had came to a point where I was a breaking point, and I was like, I don't want to keep waiting to have sex. And I think we were like months away from being married, but I was just like, I didn't even want to talk to God about it. I just kind of like, I ain't listening to you. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And so in my head, I'm thinking I'm gonna do it, and not listening to God, and I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. I get a phone call from an uncle, and he and I didn't really speak that much, but it was ironic that he was calling me, and the phone call was like, hey, niece, how you doing? I'm like, how you doing? And then he just got right into it. He was like, God was like, whatever it is you're thinking about doing, you better not do it. And so I was like, huh? So I was like, what? And I was like, I'm not sure what that could be. I knew what it was. But I was like, I know God is real, but the fact that he was really like, you're not doing it. So I thank God for that, because it made me realize just how powerful and how mighty God is, and he will give you the desires of your heart. I really wanted to wait until marriage, and that's really what I wanted. So God made sure I did that. So that's what Committed Vow was about. How do I pick the songs for the album? I had did like a whole other album that I was getting ready to put out called Push Through. and it was ready to go. I had all the songs completed, and then it was like, God was like, that's not the direction I want you to go in. And so I'm like, well, I did all these songs, you know. God was like, I want you to do more music God-led and more bringing people to me, to get the acknowledgement of me, to see me in your life. And so I had to scratch that, and I had already had a lot of songs that were God-led, so it was kind of easy to put things together. And so I just put more energy into those, and that's how I came up with the Virgin Bride and the different songs that's going on the album, EP album, whatever you want to call it. I haven't decided yet. So that's kind of how that went. My first EP, Mind of an Introvert, actually got re-released with 2 extra tracks on it. So that's out, and you can go listen to it on all the music streams all over the place. YouTube, YouTube Music, Google Play, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. It's everywhere. So if you get a chance, go listen to that. The EP was called Letting Go. And that song was about my relationship with my father and trying to get a balance and an understanding for myself, and not, you know, trying to kill the vibe of certain expectations, and just allowing people to be people. I think we forget sometimes that parents are humans too, and they have mistakes and they have faults. And maybe I'm realizing that now because I'm a parent, but I have my faults. You know, my dad had his. I had to let some things go in order to be able to move forward. Our relationship today, it's where it needs to be. I would say we're not in a bad place. We're not in the best of places, but we're not where we were. So we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Her. Shout out to Bestyet Journey is actually on the intro on that, so thank you for being a part of that. The letter was I wrote that song because it wasn't like a direct experience of dealing with the verbal, physical, or mental abuse in a relationship. It was from a child's standpoint, but I took it and I made it from the person's standpoint. So my observation of it was one way, and then I kind of wanted it to be seen from the woman's perspective and the things that she was dealing with. And so then I had someone else that I played the song for, and they expressed to me how they were in a relationship with someone who was constantly verbally, constantly physically, and constantly emotionally abusing them. And so the good people around them, they were blocking them out. Like, they were literally just keeping them away from them. And so one person reached out to this young lady through a letter because she couldn't reach her on the phone. She wasn't answering a call. She wasn't doing any of those things. She was completely just blocking her out. So she mailed her a letter. And in the letter, it just kind of told her who she was. It's just like, you're beautiful, you're an amazing person, you're awesome. It was all the positive things that she needed to hear versus all the negative things she was hearing. So it was a blessing in disguise for her to receive that letter, because when she received that letter, she was like, you know what, I don't have to and I don't deserve to. So she got out of that relationship because of that letter. So that's why I wrote her, and then it's the letter. There's another version of her on my first EP, but the ideas of them they're different in the sense that in certain scenarios we all play a part of being her. So thanks to everybody for listening and getting an understanding and the idea of who Sungwryter is and my music and what it represents. And be looking out for the Virgin Bride. It'll be coming out soon. Be blessed. Later.
Let's go. It's nothing more sweeter than you.